So first of all, congratulations for the last hour. I loved the trailer, but honestly, the 1 minute teaser which dropped before, it did its job. I mean, it set the right mood for me. Karma, you absolutely molded with your character. And Sanjay sir, it felt like I was looking at a real cop and not an actor.
Thank you. That's the best compliment we both could have received. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So, I want to know from each of you, what made you guys say an absolute yes to the show? Starting with you, Sanjay.
Obviously, I'm the younger one, so you should always start. It goes back, like I remember Amit coming home and I get a call from the casting director, okay, Amit Kumar is doing a show for Amazon and he wants to come and meet you. And, I get a lot of calls like this. I've been in this line for such a long time and I still don't have a manager or anything. I take calls myself. I talk about everything myself. I still don't have a manager. A lot of people say, okay, who should we talk to? So I deal with people myself because I think so. I'm going a little off track, but I think so dealing with people is the most important thing, how you talk to somebody and everything. Sometimes the manager behaves bigger than the star also. So and I'm not trying to put any manager down. I'm just generally saying that. So they called up and sometimes you get these calls where people say it's, it's for Amazon, it's for Netflix, it's for XYZ. And when they come and meet you, then they say, sir, हम pitch करने वाले अभी, but Amazon and Netflix के साथ ही करेंगे. So when they said Amazon, I was very excited. So I said, okay, I had not seen any of Amit's work, nothing. When he came home, within 5 minutes, I just got the right vibe. Normally, I don't meet everybody at home. But for some reason, I said, okay, tell him to come home. Is he coming alone? They said, yeah. So I said, let him come home. And I just connected with him. I just saw that X Factor. Obviously, I had not seen any of his work. But the way he spoke, he was very honest. And I just knew, he knew exactly what he was talking about. In about 10-15 minutes, he just gave me a gist of the show. And it sounded very exciting to me. And then suddenly he comes up and he says that, I've seen a lot of work of yours and I've really liked you as an actor. I feel there's so much you can offer because, I don't think so. You've been given such great opportunities. And he said, I loved you in Love Stories. I said, okay. He said, but I've got only one thing. Obviously, I'm here because I think you're good. But I have a problem. I said, what is your problem? He says, I always like to audition my actors. They are good, but I want to audition to see how they look. Like if he's taking me as Arup as the cop, he wanted me to see how I'm good enough for the cop or not. So I had a smile on my face. So he said, what happened? I said, see, I've been in this line for 25 years. I've never auditioned in my life, but I'll go with this gut thing that you want me to do it. There's always a first. I have no ego problem and everything. So we'll go for it. And then the audition happened and then it took time because he went for recce. To cut it short, finally it did happen. And then slowly I got the scripts and I started reading it. And it's been a great journey from then to now. So that's how I got this.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
What about you, Karma? And this is your first time, you are, making a debut as an actor too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, for me, I think Amit just gave me a call actually one fine evening, and I had known of Amit because we happened to be from Film Institute. He was my senior from there. So he gave me a call saying he's looking to do this web series, and then he wants to cast for it, and he wants a northeastern face, and I instantly told him that I'll look into it. I'll try and see if I can find someone and see who I can get in touch with.
Yeah.
And that's when he said that, why don't you do it? And I was like, my first initial response was an instant no, because I didn't think of myself as an actor as such, but I don't know what he saw. So he called me to his office and then we had this meeting. And then by the end of it, he was like, why don't you just give it a shot, give you an audition and stuff like that. So yeah, so then that's how it went along. Then obviously once the audition happened, and then I read what it was, and then of course, because Amit being from a place coming from his understanding, I kind of got in terms of how he wants to create the project, and I felt that it aligned with how, how I cinema as such. So yeah, so that helped. And once you read the script, I think it's a no-brainer.
True.
It was, and also because I think for me it was very important that because there was a very good
where Karma's, I know I'm cutting him off. I think so. The best thing that has happened to this show is that Karma did this part, because Karma gets this rawness, this freshness to this character of Dev, because this character, if it was done by somebody who probably is a veteran and maybe he would have performed maybe a bit, he would be more professional and more experienced. But Karma gives the X factor to this role, and it's so believable because he's so fresh. So you believe that there can be a person who has this, power to see, what happens in somebody's last hour after it. So it just looks so honest and this, and I'm so glad Amit decided to cast him, and the way Karma has done the part, and he's got such a great voice. The first time I saw the trailer, the first thing I called him up and said, to work as an Indian actor, as most actors also all over the world, but especially in India, if you have a good voice, half the battle is won. So Karma has got the good voice, and so I'm so happy. I love Karma.
No, I think also for me it was very important that I love you too, yeah. No, I think it's also very important because I saw this as such a huge mainstream project that was coming out from the Northeast, which is with a very strong foundation from there. And I felt very strongly about the kind of representation that we would do for the mainstream. So me to be part of such a big project like this, and it was just a blessing, yeah. I'm just really glad that I did it. And of course, I met Sanjay and all the other people that are part of it. It was amazing.
It was beautiful, really nice.
So, supernatural fiction, is one such genre that has always been of interest and craze for the Indian audience, and especially the millennial and the Gen Z audience, because there have been a lot of international shows revolving around, supernatural plots, drama, and we just can't stop gushing about them. So, do you think there's a sort of pressure meeting up to the expectations of the audience, because the majority of the audience in the OTT belongs to that age bracket?
No, but it's a good pressure. I think so. It's a positive pressure because it keeps you. It kept on our toes, And Amit was such a right person because, according to me, he's of international standard, and he doesn't go for obvious commercialism. He goes with his instinct, with his heart, and that's what you needed for this show. And this is the right show. I think so. This show, even the international audience, when they see it, because it's going to be Amazon. That's the reason. That's the best thing of, having your talent seen in Amazon, because the world sees it together. So I think so. It's going to match any international supernatural thriller. I'm not trying to talk big. I'm just an actor, but that's only because of the technical team of Amit, Asif, the writers, the cameraman, everything. And Amit's vision of shooting it in Sikkim in such, difficult circumstances. That's the reason forget a show, a lot of movies Sikkim has hardly been touched, because it's not an easy place. It is a beautiful place, but it's not an easy place. The infrastructure in few places, like when we went to Zuluk, there's no place to stay. But we roughed it out. We stayed it like, when I say bed and breakfast, you can imagine bed and breakfast in Zuluk. So, it was literally, I remember years back, I went to Vaishno Devi and I decided to stay back. I didn't walk down the same day. And I stayed back and I stayed in those, very small cottages with very ordinary room and everything. But I felt so great in the morning. I got up with everybody saying, Jai Mata Di, Jai Mata Di. So we stayed in Sikkim in that kind of atmosphere where the place was, I would say, a 2-star kind of a thing. But we were so into our character and everything, these extra factors didn't matter, because we were just going to do something good. So these things, it didn't. Now when I look back, it feels great. But trust me, when we were staying there, and the first day we reached Zuluk, there was a storm. I thought we all are going to die. Because that guest out, I thought, karma. But I thought it would just flow away. But we survived all this, and yeah, and here we are, totally alive and giving this interview. So coming back to your thing, in India, they have not really, for India, when they say about supernatural, they think कि कुछ भूत प्रेत की कहानी है या कोई चुड़ैल होगी जिसके पैर it's not that. It's just that it's a supernatural, it's a crime thriller movie. It's a murder mystery, and where a person who's got this power is helping this cop to solve these murders, and he's got this supernatural power. So there is nothing like a, oh God, ye bhoot aane wala hai. Oh, we're not trying to scare anybody. It's very nicely done. It's very, very nicely done.
Yeah. So, how do you look at it, Karma?
No, I didn't look at it with respect to, like, when you get into it, I wasn't thinking about the expectations or kind of what the response would be. Because for me, I think the important thing was because I believed in what Amit wanted to do. And I believed that he was honest and he wanted to replicate a material he had on paper, on screen, to the best of his abilities. And for me, the important thing was to be as true and as close to the vision that he had. And I remember after we finished shooting and while he was editing, I called up Amit one day and I said, Amit, the important thing is, I don't know about what anybody else is going to say, but for me, the important thing is that whether you are okay with it or not, now that you're sitting on the edit. So if it works for you, for me, that's a win. Because I feel that, given the circumstances with the way the casting happens vis-a-vis Northeast and things like that, and it takes quite a lot of, unfortunately, it takes quite a lot of courage, and you need to stick your neck out to actually cast like this.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's managed to do it, and the fact that it's out there now on a platform like Amazon, and that we are all part of it right now, it's quite a feat, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's where, that's the fantastic thing about Amit, that he had a vision and conviction that I want this freshness to this project. Like when I'm talking about Karma, it's actually his vision. I'm just underlining what he's done. Because he could have easily taken a so-called star to do this role. Because every person, since the time I started doing this show, when they come to know I'm doing this for Amazon with Amit, and this shit, we want to work with Amit. He's so good. So it would have been difficult for him to cast a so-called, star. But he knew a freshness would work better. What I said earlier.
Yeah.
So he knew that finally the content will work, and if the content works, these new faces will make it even bigger. Even the show will look more convincing and bigger than what a star could have been. And I totally agree with him. And when I see the trailer and everything, even though I'm part of the film, and because I'm a person who comes from Mumbai to Sikkim, probably that's why I was casted. If I was a person who was going to a person from Northeast, it would have been somebody else. But he needed a person from Mumbai who comes to the Northeast. So that's the reason, fortunately, the character was like that. Otherwise, I would have lost the
opportunity. You were being posted to Sikkim to investigate. Yeah.
Exactly. A person from Mumbai.
Yeah. So, my next question is again for Karma. I was, after watching the trailer, when I was scrolling through the comments, a lot of people have written, they are so excited to see you, portray that part. And, they have also written that, it's so good to see that, Northeastern people are being cast for shows. And they want to see more Northeastern people, enter into the mainstream Bollywood movies or series. So, how do you look at this trend? Maybe, are you sort of paving that path?
Wow, I think it's getting ahead of ourselves by saying that we are creating some. I hope it turns into a trend. I hope there is more possibilities of doing stuff in the Northeast with stories and also with actors and casting, and be honest with our casting process with the Northeast. So so I'm really glad that the trailer has done what it has done. I'm really glad. I hope that it opens up for people who put in money to make shows, the producers, the platforms, the OTTs. It gives them more courage to go out and start making things which right now, at least, it seems like as if it's going to be a courageous move, but hopefully in future, it'll be something that will be a much more naturalized process to cast in the most honest manner possible from the space.
Yeah.
And Aditya, I'd like to also add one more thing. Obviously, in the trailer and all, you're seeing Karma because he's playing the main part. But if you see the show, the casting, everybody is from there. The casting, and there's such lovely talent which we got from there. So real, such honest performances and everything. When you see the show, you will, because that's what Amit has done, because it was based there. It was not that we यहाँ से actors लेके गए. वो सब वहीं के actors. Even Yamanadu who's playing, he's a character from Nepal who couldn't speak Hindi, but he just felt that he looked the part and everything, and he looked a person from there. So the casting, I'm telling you, is, you know, so far you are just seeing Karma, but if you see, all the cast is from Northeastern.
Yeah, true. So my next question was for Sanjay sir. You know, first of all, congratulations that you completed 26 years in the industry. And right now, it's really good to see the choices and the scripts that you are choosing right now. They're making you stand out. So, you know, are you a lot clear in your head about saying no to certain projects now, from now on?
See, honestly, Aditi, obviously, there is nothing like experience. With experience, you learn what you want to do and everything. But I will not lie to myself or to you or to the people who are seeing this interview. As an actor, you can only choose what is offered to you. You know, it's very easy to say, "Yaar, wo karna chahiye," but aapko jo milega, wahi aap choose kar sakte ho. Today, fortunately, since the last 5-6 years, I'm getting this fantastic opportunity to choose things which are fantastic. Everything really coming up is really good. So I'm in a good space right now, thanks to OTT, where I can really choose. I did go through a phase where I didn't stop working as an actor, but kind of work that I was being offered was not something that I was wanting to do. So I got into production and everything. When I say that I didn't want to sell myself cheap, I don't mean you know, money wise or reputation wise. I didn't want to put myself, when I see myself, I say, "Kyun kiya ye role?" You know. So when I did an ensemble thing, I chose a movie like Luck by Chance. I chose Shandar. Though Shandar didn't do well, but I enjoyed doing it. It had a great cast. It had a great director. It was produced by Phantom, Dharma, everything. So you know, it's not easy, because finally even I want to make my bread and butter. I need to support my family also. So I think the best thing I did was I held myself back, and that's the reason I got this opportunity, because मैंने अपने आप को वो, you know, वो करके I would have made a lot of money doing small, you know, those parts, but I wouldn't have been in this space today that I'm doing shows like The Last Star. So sometimes they say you need to sacrifice if you want to achieve something, and I think so. It comes, you know, if you have it in you and if you are ready to grind it, it may take time, but it does come back. And I think so. I'm the living example.
All worth it. Yeah. True. So thank you so much, Sanjay sir and Karma. I had a great time talking to you guys.
Thank you so much, Aditi.
And, you know, we can call you guys, you know, a pair of Batman and Robin Hood working together for a case. So now Arup and Dev will also be added to the list. And, you know, honestly, it's some really good work out there that you guys have pulled off. So I'm really looking forward to the show, and all the best to you.
Thank you so much. Really
appreciate it. Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you.
Thank you.